Toto Wolff's famous last words at the end of the latest season of Netflix's Drive to Survive were, "Everyone has a target on their backs," implying that Mercedes plan on coming into the 2022 season at full force and ready to take back what they thought was stolen from them last season. But as the new era of cars hit the track, Mercedes' season has been a dud so far, to say the least. From their star driver Lewis Hamilton getting outperformed by his new teammate George Russell, to unorthodox design decisions to their car, Toto Wolff has never had a season like this in his tenure as Mercedes team principal. To many spectators of the sport, Mercedes will need a miracle to bounce back and contend for the title. And that miracle could come any moment now by way of Toto voluntarily stepping down from his position. But do you think he will do it, or will he let his ego get in the way? Stick around to find out. At the end of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, Toto Wolff was heard apologizing to Lewis Hamilton, who ended up not finishing within the top 10 for the race. In his apology, Toto apologized specifically for giving Hamilton, as he would call it, an undrivable car. Mercedes is known for cutting-edge engineering, and this season is no different. The design of their side pods, or lack of, turned heads and spiked intrigue among fans and competitors, thinking that Mercedes had done it again. But 4 races into the season, and it has now been proven that this isn't the case. After the race in Imola, Wolff was asked if he thinks that their side pod design could be the culprit to the exaggerated porpoising that the W13 has had to deal with. Wolff responded with, "That is a valid point. All of the goodness and the badness happens mainly on the floor, as it stands at the moment. We have interesting ideas and concepts that we are trying and we are exploring that have to find their way onto the car in the next few races, so we can make a call to say, I wouldn't say there is no such thing as a concept being wrong, but you could say, is there a part of what we have done that simply doesn't work with the regulations, and what is it? You don't need to throw away the goodness, you can keep the goodness, but if there are fundamental areas that don't allow us to unlock the potential that we believe is in the car, then obviously you need to cut your losses." If you thought Mercedes was sandbagging it in the preseason just like we did, then consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Lewis Hamilton also doubled down, saying that the team had it all wrong when he was asked how it felt being lapped by Red Bull and previous rival Max Verstappen in Imola. Hamilton responded to this with, "It just shows how wrong we got it." With an unhappy superstar and risks not paying off, many Mercedes fans are looking to Toto to blame for how poorly the team has been this year. And when asked about this, Toto did not play deaf and said, "It was to be expected that after so many years the day would come when these questions would arise. My shoulders are broad enough for that. I would be the first to admit it and hand the stick to someone who could run faster." But Toto isn't going down without a fight. The next race on the calendar is the inaugural race in Miami, and Toto has sent a warning to the team's doubters. Toto said in an interview that Mercedes has a plan B in their back pockets, which is more of a conventional path of design that they're on the ropes with to use because the change would cost over the cap rules. Toto went on to say, "If we are able to finally get on top of that, that means there's quite some lap time we can find. If not, we need to have another idea. If we don't get on top of the porpoising, then there is a more conventional development path that we have not yet taken. I want to give us the time to really properly take such a decision. We haven't changed the concept yet. If you were to do something else, that could potentially go against your cost cap." Mercedes driver George Russell would also chime in as to what he thinks the team should change coming into the race in Miami. Russell said in an interview with Sky Sports, "I've spoken about active suspension before. That was the solution back in the 80s, so maybe that's the solution now. From a pure racing and driving experience, it would make the cars much quicker because you could put the car at the perfect ride height for each individual corner speed. It's pretty straightforward technology these days. It's something you see on road cars as well, especially in 4x4 cars that change the ride height depending on terrain. It seems like it could be a simple solution. It's something that would contribute to making these cars even faster. I don't make the rules, I'm not a designer. Maybe there are other limitations around it and it's not as simple as I thought. I think it could be cool, it could be interesting." Those are the two options now that Mercedes could use to save their cars, and from Toto having to step down from his position. But what do you think? Is it time for Toto to step down, or is this just part of the natural cycle of the F1 world? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to DRS Zone.